1.
What up guys, Blaze here, coming at you with a Necrotic Wake 12.
The void.
So here I grabbed the 4 Patrick soldiers, I shield charged the Harvester to make sure he's stunned. Then I'm going to pull in the Gatekeeper with my taunt. I prefer to have someone else interrupt him, but I go ahead and get the interrupt. Got the Pats coming, so I AoE taunt, get everything on aggro. Got more soldiers on Pat, we're going to look to pull these. I'm going to heroic throw him in, try and get aggro on him a little bit. With my defensive cooldowns on this pull, I'm going to look to shield wall right as soon as I start trying to gather everything up. Just to keep my health high, avoid trying to proc. And then realistically, I'm going to shield wall later on whenever my health starts dropping and I don't have anything going. Here I didn't really need to shield wall, we used Spirit Link, but the pull is kind of waning, so I just sent it anyway. It comes back fast. This next little pull, I typically mostly just want to look to stun and throw fleshes, you know, get the interrupts on the drains. As a prot warrior, you can intervene and throw fleshes. Sometimes they overlap and target the same person. If you see that, it's always good to try and intervene here. So on this boss, I look to always pull the blight bags with it. At least as a prot warrior, it's not so scary. If there's soldiers you miss that are padding around, I just always pull those as well. The frontal's coming out. As a prot warrior, you can intervene this and the DPS will take no damage. So really good. I throw the spear on the little worms, get them grouped up, get them killed. And that's mostly it for this fight. Just as a prot warrior, it's really important that you can use your intervenes on these heaving wretches so your team does not get one shot and die. So here I pulled the Gatekeeper when typically I don't normally pull all this other stuff with it. I was trying to get the soldier and they all pulled instead. But we clutched it up. Healer was good. Used my shield wall. I proc, so I hit the last stand. Typically in this route I like to grab the two ads on the left there, pull them into this, but since I accidentally pulled that big pack, we don't need the percent in this route. So from here, it's just always important to look at the mages and try and stop the volleys. Those are the ones that are going to kill your group. These necromen, like the necro bolts really don't do too much to you. There's just not enough damage from them. The healer's orb kind of sucks, but Prot Warrior doesn't hurt too bad from it. At least on 12s. Not too bad on 12s. So with this pull, I'm looking to grab the blight bags and pull them into this roaming group of 3. Now it's always important that we face the Marauder away from our teammates here, because the frontal just kills people on higher keys, and it's completely avoidable. Really important to try and just, move in one direction. If you're gonna move at all, make sure you are watching the frontal timer and making sure you're not killing your allies with it, because in these 12s, a few deaths on these groups is just, it's enough to end the key right there. Here you can see I'm waiting to get the frontal because I want to get the orb. So I've gotten the frontal. I know it's safe to move now. I come over here and get the orb. My little Dractyr is going to rescue me over. I'm pulling. On this pack, the damage can be quite high, so I tend to usually send my shield wall here. I like to use the spell block. I like to use spell reflect here. Demo shot, I just send most of my cooldowns on this. It's important if you have someone in your group that can purge, that they're purging the big healthy ad here, the one I'm targeting currently. His death shield can just be purged right off, and it's a game changer for this for sure. Definitely required, otherwise this guy just lives forever and does a whole bunch of damage for no reason. So here with these two, it's the same thing. If you have a really coordinated group, you can actually double these and pull them into the next pack of mobs. Though I don't recommend it, as you don't have to do it. But, sometimes whenever they're starting to get low on life, I'll just bring them into the next pack of mobs. As warrior, I play the Berserker Shout removes fears from your allies as well, so worst case scenario, if one of the shouts go off, you can just cleanse it from your allies, it's not a big deal. But typically I do just like to keep these as a lone pack. Make sure you just face them away from your allies like I am. So this pull, I'm just gonna stun the big guy right away. And like I said, in at least the same group as from earlier, you're looking to stop the frost bolts, or the frost bolts and the frostbolt volleys here, like we did here. Really important to stop the volleys. That's about it for me. So this group, it's the same as the other group. You really just don't really worry about stopping the necrotic bolts. You just look for volleys to stop. As a tank, I almost take no damage from this. It's really just trying to help your allies live. So for me in my route, this is probably the scariest pull of the dungeon here. I'm going to tag those on the right, pull them into the middle, and then I'm going to get Lust, and then we're going to tag on the little guys from behind. Now, you got to be really careful with your health as a tank here. The bone carvers reduce your maximum health by a flat percentage, and it's not good. And as these little guys come in, I like to AoE taunt, just make sure I have aggro. I'm rotating my defensives here, making sure I got my shield block up, making sure I got my ignore pain up. I'm still pretty safe here, I haven't procced. If I proc, I got my last stand to, help me out here. Chain pulling. Not the best for the little rogue, but he'll live. Gonna pull this into the monstrosity. I always pull those two. I skipped this last pack because we got enough percent from the first room. I always skip the last pack. And then I just double these.
You will be brought to justice. You dare deny me the sky? Then I shall answer in kind.
Foolish Paragon! There is nothing you can do to stop us.
Out of range. It's too far away.
Alright, so with this boss, I'm really just looking to pull it back into this corner. It's pretty important that people don't overlap kicks, especially on the boss here. This group I have, we already decided that we're going to do A-bomb limb for the first ads, and we're going to use stuns. It's important that we kick the boss, we let our healer die. The necrotic bolts from this boss actually do hit quite hard, so it's important that both the frostbolt volleys here are stopped, interrupted, do whatever, but it's also important that the boss does not cast, as just one cast can kill people. Not good. Here I'm trying to save my kick, see if we need it. I set my kick. And this next one, I think. Yeah, this next one I'm gonna use my kick. I interrupted, I'm gonna get the shield out. Help reduce some damage taken for us. And then on the next set of ads, I'm gonna use my my orb for it. I think we have A-bomb them back up as well, but the orbs are super useful in this fight. They do a bunch of damage to the little guys, plus they interrupt everything. Though it is kind of good to save one orb for the first pull upstairs. You'll see. We don't have an orb to use, but Honestly, it's worth saving one orb for it.
My soldiers rise once
Here we got the next set of ads coming out. I'm gonna make sure we get the mages in. I have my orb pulsing, everything's interrupted. I'm just making sure the boss stays interrupted. Don't want any necrotic bolts going out. See, he's gonna get it off. Dodging the frontal. Cleaning up the pole here. So for this last set of ads, I don't think we really have too much in terms of stops for the range, so really trying to just make sure we kill the boss. Stops on the necrotic bolts. See, it almost killed our rogue. We almost got one shot by it. I think if the rogue died there, we probably would have wiped to this boss. It's pretty sketchy here. See, we're all just using our AoE stops. We're stunning. I kicked the boss. Easy peasy. Cleaned it up. No problem at all.
Your arrival proved timely, yet the battle rages on. We cannot rest until these invaders are purged from our skies.
We have all the corpses we need, Stitchflesh. Prepare to strike at the next temple.
Just a moment longer. It seems that
So here's a tank on this pole. I'm going to focus one of the collectors, make sure that I'm going to get interrupts if I'm in a pug. I kick that gore splatter. I drop low. Get the last stand up. Use my shield wall. Just really trying to stop the gore splatters as best as possible. And if you have an orb here, you always just use the orb here. It kicks everything. It's easy. I'm watching that collector there. I seen his gore splatter is gonna come up. Got drained fluids. Waiting for the channel to finish casting. Then I'm gonna hit my stun. If you stun them after they've started their channel, they won't recast. I seen the repair flesh. Seen we didn't really need any other kicks. I'm gonna go ahead. Interrupt the repair flesh. Chain these. Since I pulled this collector, I'm going to make sure that I'm going to get the gore splatter. The rogue got it here, but anytime I pull like a priority kick mob as a tank in an uncoordinated group, I'm going to be the one that's going to kick it. It's the easiest way to do it. Or, I mean, if you got a group that you're working with, feel free to have them interrupted as well. But me personally, I like to get the gore splatters or like the prio kicks. So on this next pull here, I'm gonna look to tag these two on the right, the creation and the other guy, and then I'm gonna just pull him straight into this collector. He's gonna throw the axe. It's gonna hit the big guy. Hopefully your team doesn't stop a wing minded, but I'm just on this collector looking for any priority kicks. I got the gore splatter. So like any of these priority kick mobs, I'm always going to be sitting on, especially if there's one of them. And then I like to try and just stay in front of the axis here just in case they slip through. And they'll just one shot, and they don't do much damage to the tank, but if they go off on DPS, they just fall over, and it's not good for them. So far, easy peasy.
these raw materials are in need of processing.
So on these two assistants, I like to stand directly in the middle of them, and they're just gonna walk straight into you. I taunt them. They're gonna do their little frontals. Hopefully your team figures out how to aim them like ours finally got them. It's important that the axes or the funnels go straight onto the other ones, because it saves a bunch of time. Especially in the hierarchies, and it just saves a ton of time. As a tank, I always walk out with the fixate, just in case an unfortunate frontal like this kind of happens, and sometimes they'll double target the same dude, and you know, I just want to make sure that I'm going to eat an axe that's not going to go on to one of these guys, so. Frontal's not going to hit one of the assistants. As a tank, you want to step in front of it every time. Our healer got melee to death. But it's okay. So with Goregrind, he's pretty straightforward. He has a little tank buster mechanic, but you just keep your active mitigation up and he doesn't do too much. Mostly what you gotta look out for Goregrind is he'll pick one of the DPS and he'll just do a frontal at them, like this. And you can't move it as a tank, it just targets one of DPS. You don't really worry about it.
Vexing! Rotspew, get to work and don't fail me like your predecessor!
So for Rotspew, I just get all the aggro here. Just gonna be taking pulsing damage. As a warrior, you can reflect the spew. It's pretty good. Saves a bunch of health. But pretty much you just do the pulsing damage, and then the green stuff on the floor, I'm like 99% positive doesn't do more damage to you if you're already affected by the AoE, like taking debuff that melee gets. As you can see, like, I don't think it does any more damage, but that's about it for Rotspew.
Build those two from scratch. It seems I must take matters into my own hands.
So we're on a Stitchflesh here. I like to just do my shield charge, get it on cooldown, get my shield blocks up, get everything ready. So the first little circle on the ground I think always goes to tank, and I try and stay kind of further out than everybody else. I'm lining the hook up, taunting Stitchflesh, getting aggro. I'm gonna use my wall because we're lusting. They do pretty good tank busters here at the start. And then I'm gonna look to move Stitchflesh in front of this line here. We got him hooked in. We did it good. Then from here on out, it's trying to move with the two away from the circles if you have to. The second hook always goes onto the platform here. And we get the hook, easy peasy. Finishing up the little ad, taunting him before he hits my healer. Get him taunted in. We got another hook coming out. I'm making sure Stitchflesh is in good line with him. We got him hooked back in. Everything's going according to plan here. Here we're lacking a little bit of single target DPS on the boss, but we do our hooks right. And so it looks like we're going to come out with a win here. We hook him down. I'm taunting the second one in. I'm in a shield wall because these, I got 3 tank busters here back to back to back. And that's down. I'm trying to move Stitchflesh in front of this first hook so he gets hooked. Got him hooked up. I ate the second hook. And I get the kill, just like that. On this boss, it's pretty easy. As a tank, you almost do nothing the entire time. The only thing you can kind of help out on is trying to save or align some of your like burst damage, some of your cooldowns, whenever he shields when you don't have DPS up with you. During this fight, he sends your DPS down, and then he'll pop a big shield, and it takes pulsing damage that stacks up the longer he has the shield. And if you don't kill the shield, you'll die. So a lot of the times I like to try and save some of my bigger damage for this shield that's coming up. See here that one of my DPS went down. We got a shield. I'm gonna hit it as hard as I can. The shield slams. Got a big thunderclap going out. You know, just trying to burst down the shield as best as a tank can do. But relatively, that's most of this fight. As a warrior, you can pre-spell reflect the root and you'll never have to deal with it ever. You can also time your heroic leap for the exact second that you get sent down, and you'll just stay up and you can continue DPSing. But after 30 seconds, you will die. So you have to keep that in mind, that you'll need battle res. Most of the time, that's not too big of a deal. But as a tank, you're never getting sent down, so, or you're never getting the root either. Just try and move away from your allies whenever they get the root. Just make it easier for them. But that's it. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you guys learned something. Feel free to give me a like and subscribe. Maybe comment. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what I can do better. Any of that kind of stuff.
None can escape the storm. I have had enough of you. Storm. I have had enough of you. None can escape the storm.
Let's fucking go. Look at our car to push.